everyone and welcome back. I'm so excited to be doing this video. I finally have enough hair to do a full curl tutorial and show you how I like to do beach waves on hair like mine. My hair is growing out from a very sharp bob to, you get those little frillies that's not like as sharp as before. The ends are kind of a little bit dry because it's winter, so it's not looking as beautiful as it did before. And I do plan on growing my hair, so having said that, I want to start styling my hair. And so I wanted to show you a whole tutorial on how I like to do beach waves on myself. This is how I like to do it on my clients. And I'm gonna be using Hot Tools 1 inch and a quarter. So this is the secret number if you wanna do beach waves, like really, really nice beach waves. It's 1 inch and a quarter. Don't use 1 inch, don't use like a smaller one, like less than 1 inch, and don't use a 2 inch. That's just too big. Your curls are gonna fall out. I find that this is the magical size for really nice beach waves. So Hot Tools goes up to 430 degrees. So I already have it on 430 degrees. Make sure it's on. Make sure you use this little flap so you don't burn your table. And if you have a type of mat that is going to protect your surface, that would definitely help. I'm going to be linking everything that I talk about in this video below. Just know that I'm going to be getting a small commission from everything that you buy on Amazon through those links. If you are interested in learning more about hair, make sure you go to my website and put your name in the mailing list. I am working on an online platform and creating some courses, which I'm so excited about for this year, for 2022. I will be launching it sometime this year and you will be the first to be notified. So having said that, let's get into it. So the first thing that you want to do is just take away the nape of the neck. So take your index fingers and you want to just section away the nape. We're not going to be curling this part. Make sure you have some clips. These are crocodile clips. I think they're called crocodile clips or alligator clips. They will be linked below too. So the back over here does not need to be curled. The nape of the neck, if you curl it, this is gonna poof out. So the best thing to do is to grab your iron, just bring this flap down, and we are gonna be I'm just gonna run the curling iron through it. You don't wanna flip out the hair because usually the hair does flip out anyway. So I'm gonna try and go under without burning myself. Woo. Just run it lightly through. Make sure you use a heat protectant. I'm gonna go from under here. So the idea here when you're doing the back, you can do this with a straightening iron too, but you don't want this part to poof out, and that's why I'm using the part of the iron that is going to, it's like this way. I'm not doing it out, I'm going under. And I just wanna like tame the flyaways. I wanna like bring it down a bit. So if someone else is doing your hair, then they can just do a tiny little bend in the hair. So it's okay if you can't really get this part, that's totally fine. So you don't actually have to start curling your hair until you get to about halfway through your head where you actually have quite a bit of hair. That's when you can start actually curling it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is the back because that's usually the hardest. What's easier for me? Let's do it this way. So this is a flat wrapping technique. I'm using flat wrapping, which is basically where you take the hair and you flat wrap it against the iron. So you're basically sandwiching it into the hair or into the iron. And then you want to just pull on it a little bit so that it doesn't poof out. You have to be very cognizant of this area here where the occipital bone is, because if you start to curl this too much and the curls get out too poofy, you're gonna end up with that triangle shape with too much curl here, not enough curl at the top, especially if you have finer hair on top. It's not gonna look pretty. It's not gonna look symmetrical. Is that symmetrical, the word I'm looking for? So you wanna start taking vertical sections, not horizontal. So we are taking the index finger and we're creating a line. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna create curls back, like going backwards and forwards. This is a personal preference. I always like the curls around the hair to be away from the face and then all the way around, kind of like messy and loose. And that's what makes a beach wave a beach wave. So once we grab the hair like this, it's flat. You grab the hair, you open it all the way and you can hear it squeaking. And you go from underneath. This is going to create a curl away from the face. I think this is gonna look really pretty. So hold it, you can see some smoke coming out, especially if you use a heat protectant. And then you wanna pull gently downwards. So you can see the curl is right there. If you have fine hair or hair that doesn't really hold curl, don't touch it. If it's poofing out, if this middle part is popping out, I just want you to give it a little bit of a tug or just push it down. As it cools, that curl is gonna cool down rather than out. Because you know when you just leave the curls out and they get really ringlety, especially if you have hair that really holds curl, you want to manipulate the hair while it's still hot. So you can see like the sections that I'm taking are pretty clean. Like I'm not going to take haphazard sections. There is another way to curl hair, which is twisting the hair around the curling iron. So you would just open it, or you would wand it and you would twist it around. I just find flat wrapping, it's neater and it just looks prettier and it lasts longer because you're sandwiching the hair into the heat. So this one, I can technically bring it forward and then take this one back, but the hair already over here around my ear is already popping. If I go with that and I make the curl pop this way, it's gonna poof, right? Because my ear's there. So it's gonna be like a double poof. And then this hair, when it comes down, is gonna be poofing out under. So you gotta think of this as just like you're just creating a very soft wave in this area here. And then you can curl all you want at the top over the occipital bone. Everything from under, like around the occipital bone down, don't worry about it too much, like just make it like a really nice wave. So I'm going to go against this and I'm gonna push it away and do the same thing I did to the other wave. So I like to, like, yes, I alternate it, but I also keep in mind how it's all going to sit together. So you're creating a little foundation. See how it's poofing out? I'm gonna twist it and I'm gonna pull it down. I'm gonna tug it. When it's still hot is the best time to manipulate it. Once it cools, it's gonna be very difficult to manipulate the hair. So this last piece here around the front of the face, we are gonna do the same thing. Careful, you wanna start at the middle of the head or the hair and then move slightly up towards the root. Don't touch the root, don't burn yourself. And then leave the end out. Pull it down gently. See how I twisted it? And now I'm just gonna pull on it. Because it's poofing out too much, I'm actually gonna take the iron and I'm gonna run it through because I wanna tame it. Seems like my hair really is holding curl today. Maybe because it's a little bit drier than normal. That's cute. So now we've done like middle, this part. Now we're gonna do this part, vertical section. If you're taking sections that are too big or too thick, the heat is not gonna go through and it's gonna give you a serious problem. So now I'm gonna take the iron and then I'm gonna go under. I just find this is the easiest way to do it, is just to go under so you don't burn your fingers. See how that just created like a tiny, tiny little wave? You don't actually have to create big curls. And then you take another vertical section. And I like sections where you can like still see, but not quite. Whoop, watch your fingers. And then go under. Again, not too concerned about the bottom part. Oh, see? Oh, that's perfect. It's actually the perfect size. And I left the heat on for a perfect amount of time. Like you don't want to hold the heat onto your hair for too long. It's not supposed to be like super ringlety, which is what you can get if you hold the heat on for too long. This one I'm gonna take under this way. I know it's supposed to be vertical, but like I'm just going with my head shape. I just curved it under. Okay, so we got a little piece there. And this one's gonna be away from the face. So you wanna take the flap under, start in the middle, and then curl. Slowly. Some of these hot tools don't have a thing at the top, which can burn. I bought this one because I wanted to be able to hold the iron while I was curling it. Can't imagine ever doing hair without being able to hold this while I was curling the hair. So this is actually beautiful. This looks great. So sometimes we have more hair on one side than the other. You might find that some areas are gonna be more challenging than others, and you're gonna be like, well, it worked on this side. I don't know why it didn't work on this side. Also keep in mind angles, like you're not doing this professionally, you're doing it on yourself. I'm gonna take my next section. However, this is like actually has a lot of hair here. So I went like up like this. So don't do that. You want to go like this and then keep going straight across. Keep in mind, everyone has a different head shape and everyone has different densities of hair. Okay, so I'm just going to take the hair that hasn't been curled. So I'm just going to do this massive section here and then I'm going to do under. So you start in the middle of the hair, let it go, twist it and hold it. The twist really helps kind of define the curl. I have this part that hasn't been curled. I can do it this way, but then I want to pull this down. See how I'm moving slowly down? So it creates like a very soft flat wrap. I like this. Now I'm gonna look in the back. I'm gonna see what areas, which hairs have not been curled. This has all been curled. These hairs are very little. I hope you guys have more hair than me. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did on the bottom part, middle of the hair. You can now tuck it under because I have a little bit more hair now. Once you have a little bit more length, you can actually tuck the hair, the curling iron under, and it gives you kind of like salon beach waves. Do the same thing here, middle. You see how like I hold it for a second and then I tuck under and then I release it. I'm gonna do this away from the face. Middle, turn. Whoo! That one just slipped. just gonna do the ends, just because I want that pieciness at the end. If you're not getting it when you're doing the curl, go back through and just do that little flip with the curling iron here. I have very fine hair in the front. A lot of us do, because it's the most fragile and it's usually the one that gets the most abuse from us. Like there's a lot of highlighting done and we like blow dry it a lot. So it's a lot of heat damage and chemical damage. So all of that has been curled in the back. There's still a piece here that hasn't been curled very well. I feel bad for it. Maybe I will do a little bit under and hold it and then tuck and pull the end through. It's perfect. I'm excited to do the front. I hope it works out for me today and I don't embarrass myself on video. Okay, so now I'm just pulling all of the parts that have not been curled. You can see them, they kind of just separate themselves. Grab the ends and you'll know which parts have not been curled. I'm gonna grab the middle part. Do you see how I'm like sectioning this out? This whole horseshoe section right here, I'm not gonna touch till the very end. So I'm still at the middle part. So I've already sectioned my hair to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the top is gonna be the 5th section. Grab in the middle, twist, hold for a minute. Oh, not a minute, a couple seconds. Tuck. Oh, that slipped right out because it was so soft. There we go. And this part I'm gonna go, we'll do it this other way, this way. If you really want to tighten the curl, you can really pull on the end. Tighten the curl in the middle, you can wiggle it now that you have a little bit more hair to work with. And then tuck it under. Ooh, there it is. You see how nice that curl came out? Little flick, just to give it that little piece. Middle, twist, make sure the ends are clean. Hold, tug, and then tuck it under and pull. Ooh, that looks great. We're gonna keep doing that all the way around. The thing is, like with beach waves, if you have a lot of hair, you can do alternating waves. But if you have thin, fine hair like me, both thin and fine, which means that the texture of the hair is actually very fine itself, like it's very fragile, and it's very thin. You can do curls all facing the same direction because it actually will give the illusion of having more hair. So don't be afraid to make everything the same direction. It's not wrong. There's no wrong or right. I like to go with how the hair grows too. So I have a pretty strong crown in the back that kind of like flares out and it just kind of pushes the hair forward. I can already see that this part is coming down on its own. So I'm gonna go with that roundedness and I'm gonna go and do an under curl. I'm gonna pull on it and I wanna tug and then I'm gonna pull through and then tuck on it. Sometimes I will honestly just curl the front and the top. Like I won't even curl underneath. If the hair looks healthy and there's already a little bit of a wave there, you know, maybe I just washed my hair and it just dried naturally and there's a natural wave, I won't even disturb the bottom areas. I'll just do the front and the top because those are the areas where my hair is thinnest and finest and lacks shape. So I'll just run the heat through that. Okay, so this is actually quite big. If I do all of that, it's just not gonna look very pretty. I wanna do smaller sections. This one I'm actually gonna bring forward. Middle, turn, hold the top, pull under, tuck, 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 tuck it under, and then pull the hair through. Do you see how pretty that looks? That is beautiful. That's like the perfect curl. And then the top over here, I wanna do opposite. Hold this, wiggle, tuck, pull through. That looks great. So you guys may have more hair than me, but if you're following me, you probably have thin hair like me. So for this one, I want this to be away from the face. I'm gonna go from under. So the other way of doing this, like I said, is twist wrapping the hair. And that's usually what I like to do if I have very short hair and you can't really flat wrap the hair. Or if you have long hair, it's so pretty when you have long hair. I just find that it can look a little bit messy. It doesn't always look perfect. Ooh, this is poofing out too much, so I'm just gonna hold it down. And grab the next section, under. Okay, so now I know that I have a middle part. That's natural. My hair just decided to split in the middle one day. So that's another thing about partings is like, don't worry too much about your partings. If it's a little off center, that's fine. If it is to the side, that's fine. Let's not listen to those Gen Zers. You do whatever makes you happy. I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna twist it around, and then I'm gonna flick the iron through the ends. And then finally we have just the front, and then we're just going to redo maybe a couple curls if I don't like them. So basically these are my curtain bangs. So we want these to go out. We want them to flake out, and you don't want to do too much on the front just because the hair is fragile. It could really look wrong. We could end up doing too much damage if you go over the hair too much with heat. So you want to grab the curling iron, go from under, pinch it at the middle, and just slowly flick away. Oh, I like that. So we're gonna do the same thing. You can't do it this way, so I like to do it from above. Just make sure that the hair is flat. Like, you want the whole section to be flat. You don't want it to be pinched. Once you pinch it, you're just not gonna get like good heat distribution, and it's gonna look too pointy. We don't want that. We want it to look neat. Okay, too much curl, so I'm just gonna push it down a little bit while it cools. Oh, that looks really good. See, the curl is coming in with the rest of the hair. That looks great. As you can see that the shape is doing exactly the same thing on both sides. Oh, my hair is really holding curl today. This is odd. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a special comb that I like, and then we're gonna run it through and break up all the curls. Okay, so what you need is a wide tooth comb like this. I'm gonna link the closest one that I can find down below. And you wanna start combing out the curls from the back towards the front. The back is already cooled, and then you just wanna run the comb through from underneath, and then move towards the front. I think this needs an extra curl. Whoop. There we go. This one is bugging me because there's no straight end to it, so I'm actually just gonna run the curling iron through and see how it just adds that extra bit of pieceiness on the end. So I'm not someone who likes to use a lot of products in my hair. Like right now, I could throw in a dry shampoo, I could put in texture spray, but from experience, texture spray and everything just makes my hair too sticky and it weighs it down, and I'm not a big fan. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and use the Undressed from Hair Story because I find that it's like the lightest texture spray I've ever used. I'm just gonna quickly mist. Just like 2 or 3. Oh yeah, there it is. Then I'm gonna spray from under. Ah! Oh no, that was supposed to complete my look. Okay, do you see how like the curls are really bouncing now? I want a little bit around the front too. I like that this is an aerosol because aerosol has been giving me issues. Oh my God, like look at the difference. This looks frizzy and this one looks nice. Then a little bit around the front. If you have a lot of flyaways, take a little bit of the hair balm, like literally just a tiny, tiny little bit, and you can add a little bit of this product to the ends because it can get a little bit too sticky for fine hair. I just find my hair has been super dry lately, and I like it to just add a little bit of that pieceiness. It feels like a pomade, but not quite a pomade. Go from under whenever you're doing your curtain bangs. You wanna go from underneath. Massage the product into the hair. Oh, I feel so good. This is like the whole point of doing like good hair. Like when you have good hair, you just feel better. So you can just massage your roots for a little bit of volume. Yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Oh my God, I feel amazing. I feel cute, I feel sexy. I feel like I'm ready to make some content. Please let me know if you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it and if it helped you. And remember, if you are looking for hair education, make sure you go to my website and add yourself to the mailing list so that you will be the first to be notified when my online courses are going to be available. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye.